Hi, we just wanted to do a really quick video to talk about access for students into Google Classroom. We had a lot of questions from tutors regarding how students get access to resources, but also how students then return pieces of work to the tutor, how they get marked, that kind of thing. So we just thought we'd run that through in a bit more detail. So in a previous video we mentioned that we've got Google Classroom. We can invite students in, so we can click the button, invite them in via their email address, send out an invite, but typically we would be using the Google Classroom code, and we would send that to them and they'd use that class code to join. Obviously the problem with that is, if I just swap over there, if they go to classroom.google.com and they haven't got a Google address, then they'll be prompted straight away to sign in with one. Now what they can do is, if they've got an Android phone or something, they may well have their Google account, but they may well want to use an existing email address that they've already got. And to do that, all they need to do is go to create account on this page, and then there's a button in the middle which says use my current email address instead. So what that will happen is they'll still create a Google account, they'll still have to use a new password which they'll create with Google, but they will be able to use their existing email address, so at Bristol account, at Yahoo, at Hotmail, whatever they use normally to access their emails. The beauty of that is not only is it one less thing to remember, but it also means any notifications from you as a tutor, telling them there's a piece of work to do, giving them some feedback, will go to their existing email address rather than a new Google one. So they don't have to remember to log in to check pieces of work. So that's quite an important little thing. It's well worth mentioning to people. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is actually receiving some work. Okay, so now we're going to assign a piece of work, a Google document, to our students, and just let them respond with a different type of document again. So process is exactly the same for assigning a Word document. We're just going to go back to classwork, create an assignment. I'm going to put in a title which we'll just call doc, and we'll say please write 500 words. So just a blank document basically for them to type into. What about the due date? We'll whack it into a topic, and we will I'm going to add the document in. So again, a pre-made file that I've got on my computer. So this is on my desktop. I'll click the file button. I'll select files from your device. When I click this, you won't be able to see what I'm seeing, but I've just got a list of all my files. I'm going to select ilp.docx and upload it. So again, I'm going to make a copy for each student, and I'm going to assign that out to my solitary student. So this works fine, but by default, the learner has to I'll just show that. The learner has to download that file to edit it and then re-upload it, which is a real problem for people on iPhones, Android devices, iPads. It's just a bit fiddly trying to download files and manipulate them on a mobile device as opposed to a desktop. So just be mindful. For a lot of learners, it's going to be far easier if you give them a video to watch and come back and comment. So please watch this, please think about the following things and just tell me what you thought. Or give them a Google document. You know, if you've got Word documents, just upload them. Google Drive will automatically say to you, would you like to edit this in Google Docs? Just say yes, make sure it doesn't break it too much, and then use that document. So back into the student section, you can see new assignment called doc. Looks exactly the same, except that it's a Word document here rather than being a Google document. And the same on the tutor side of things, it looks exactly the same. You've got your little preview here. It doesn't tend to load the preview because it's not a live document. And so they can just click on the document, and what they'll get is like a photographic snapshot. So Google goes in, loads the document up, takes a picture of it to show them what it looks like, but that's it. They can't type on it, they can't click on it, they can't change anything. To do anything else with it, they have to go up to these little three menu options and hit open a new window. So straight away it's a bit fiddly, a bit weird. Not very clear why to do that. Once they've done that, they have got the option of opening with Google Docs, so they could then reopen your document, start editing it, and then return that to you. Again, a bit weird. Or the other thing they can do is they can hit download, and that will give them the option of, I've got a pop-up now, of where to save it onto the computer. So that lets them then download it onto their computer, as long as they've got Microsoft Office. So again, a lot of our students don't have Microsoft Office. So if you are giving them pieces of work, whilst you might have the full Office suite at home, if they don't have that, they're going to struggle to do this. So I'm going to presume that they've finished that piece of work. They would then add or create to re-upload that document. Once they've done that, they can turn it in. So that works exactly the same, and then you would mark it in the same way, but it's slightly kludgy, I suppose. It's slightly awkward for them. What we are going to show as well is we've had quite a few students take photographs of handwritten work. It is possible to mark this. It's fine for the students, it's slightly fiddlier for you. So I've got a fairly naff scan I'm going to upload. So I'm going to upload and find it, just a little handwritten sample. This is really blurry, but it's just a blurry image I found on Google. There's some handwriting just as an example. So we've uploaded that as a student, and we've said this is our piece of work, we're happy with this, and we're going to turn it in. Obviously it says we're turning back in the document that the tutor handed to us, but it's also uploading this photograph of a piece of work. So turning in, and what will happen now is that it'll say on here, look, 2 attachments, so the tutor can see both things that have been added. If they click on there, they go back to exactly the same interface as before. As you can see, they can still see their ILP. On the right hand side under files, we've got the handwritten sample, and so you've got this handwritten sample on here. You can either right click on it or left button drag around to sort of say, oh, this bit here, say not a good intro. Okay, no, not a good intro. There we go. So we can comment on this piece of work, and we can put in comments. Fantastic, excellent. We can put in private comments. We can put in a grade. So that all works well. The grade works fine. The private comments work absolutely fine, and that may well be enough for you. So if they send you in a photograph of something, or something you can't edit, like a PDF, you can just give them a grade. You can just give them private comments and say, please make sure in the later sections do this, do that. If, however, you want to do this thing where you type directly onto the document so they can see which bits you're talking about, therein is a problem, because what happens is when we return this to them, on their side, under their work, the image will always be the original image they uploaded. It won't change it to be your amended version. So the only way they can see your comments is if you hit this button here, which is open a new window, and you grab this URL. I bet you probably can't see that, can you? I should just drag that down. If you grab this URL from the top bar and copy it, and we go back to here, you can say, post that as a comment to them. And then once that's posted and returned, we can still mark it, we go 90%. We can return this document. You can see on the learner side of things, they've now got your copy. They can open that and they can see your comments. So it can be made to work, but for the learner, this button here, if they press this, it will always load up the one with no comments. So not great, but it is a way around that as an option.